Cruising on 7, brought to you by
Capital GMC Buick Cadillac and Capital Ford Lincoln are two of the most celebrated dealerships in the country. Plus, Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's largest body shop network. Capital Auto Mall on the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina.
Hey, welcome to another special edition of Cruising on 7. Of course, they're all special here at this year with COVID-19. I've got with me Jim Leskin, the recording secretary of the Ford Mercury Club of Saskatchewan. Is that right?
The Sask Ford Mercury Club, and I'm secretary-treasurer of the club.
Tell us a little bit what we're trying to do today, Jimmy.
Well, of course, due to COVID, we've had to cancel all three of our car shows this season, the June, July, and August show. And so we've been trying to get our cars out. We've been doing a few cruises around the city, a few cruises around the outskirts of town. Today we have a 69 Cobra, a very rare car, 64 Comet Caliente, a 57 Thunderbird or Baby Bird, and then we've got a 77 Pinto.
Wow, and then we've got the Cobra here. We talked about that already, I think.
And then we've got the Meteor, a 51 Meteor that just completed. I believe the fellow was working on it for the last number of years. And so it's been out for about 2 or 3 weeks.
We're here with Guy McDougall, and he's got a
1977 Ford Pinto.
I had a Ford Pinto station wagon one time.
Everybody's got a Pinto story.
Hey, tell me a little bit about your car.
I've had this just over a year now. I picked it up on trade. I traded my 62 Galaxy.
62 Galaxy?
62 Galaxy that was all kind of done
That's
up and stuff.
That's at one end of the spectrum.
Exactly, yeah. I've been looking for one for some time, and this just happened to crop up, and I contacted the gentleman, and we just basically swapped cars.
Swap cars?
Yeah.
Really? And this is a 70 again?
77?
77.
It's all original other than the Boyd Coddington rims that are on it, because originally it would have been 13-inch rims. These are 17s.
Wow. Those are gorgeous, huh?
They change the stance of the car. They make it look significantly different.
So why a Pinto for you?
They're just an odd car you just don't see anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
My father had a 76 when I was a kid that was sort of the backup driver for everybody around the home.
Yeah, the grocery getter.
The grocery getter. He towed it behind his motorhome. I was
he towed it behind his motorhome?
Yeah, I towed it down to Texas every year and back.
Oh, geez.
And so, it was there. It was available for driving. We drove it quite a bit. It was just a fun car to drive. They're absolutely gutless. You're not going anywhere fast in a Pinto, but you're going to, save some gas and stuff, of course.
Is this all original?
This car's all original other than the rims.
Really? That's the original paint?
No, the guy I bought it from, he owned the car in his high school years in the 90s.
Okay.
Him and a buddy painted the car base with a clear coat on a weekend lark. Before they could finish a keg of beer, they said they were going to have the car painted. That was the story he gave me.
They actually did a pretty good job.
Exactly. It looks really good. There's a little delamination, a few stone chips now. It is plaid on the inside. Very 70s.
I love that, a plaid interior.
Yeah.
Well, you got a seat cover on the driver's side?
Yeah, I put a seat cover on because it was starting to tear around the seams and stuff, and I didn't want it to get any worse. So I put a seat cover on it just to protect it a little bit.
So what's this beast powered by?
It is a 2.3-liter Ford. The Lima engine, as it was referred to.
Lima? Why is it called Lima?
Lima, Ohio was the factory where they were manufactured.
Okay.
So the 2.3, you'll still find it in modern Mustangs and Ford Rangers.
Really?
Yeah, same engine block. Same
2.3?
2.3, and it does get good mileage. I'm averaging somewhere between 27 and 30 miles a gallon on the highway.
Does it have air in it?
Nope, nothing.
Okay, what is this? That's oh no, that's the cam.
Yeah, they're overhead camshaft on these 2.3s.
Yeah.
Two-barrel carburetor. It's a Weber carburetor on this one. All the pollution stuff I've pulled off.
Okay.
Which frees up a little bit of horsepower, and I advanced the timing quite a bit, so it's got a little bit more get up and go, but it's pretty gutless. To spin those big 17s, you'd have to be on some pretty loose gravel or sand.
So what's the body design? It kind of almost has a, you know, if I look at it, it's almost got a Camaro kind of
77 to improve aerodynamics. 77 and 78 have this nose on them, and this is all urethane, soft urethane.
Okay.
It was designed to increase aerodynamics and stuff like that. So they went from a flatter front to this more tapered and rounded the hood slightly as well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, you know, a lot of manufacturers, they get the same designer, and he builds something in a small car and it'll just kind of blow it up.
The basic body shell for the Pintos and the Bobcat, the Mercury Bobcat was the corporate cousin.
Yes.
The basic body shell was 77 to 80. So they didn't make much in the way of changes other than grills, little stuff on the inside, and taillights.
There is a bit of Torino-ness to it, a little bit maybe.
Yeah, this was another one of Lee Iacocca's dreams. Right?
Oh.
This was a car that he mandated had to be built next number of months. It had to be around the $2,000 mark for sale and around 2,000 pounds.
Good marketing guy.
He was a marketing guy, and this is what they came up with.
Jeez, look at that. Okay, we've got Gary Monroe here, and you've got one of the baby birds. They were 56, 57, 58? No, not 58.
No, 55, 56, 57.
That's it, yeah. And you've got a 57. 57. Oh, you got the last of the baby birds.
Right.
Wow. So tell us, Gary, a little bit about your car.
Well, I've had it now for about 5 years. I bought it in Texas.
Oh, did you?
From Amos Minter. Amos Minter, he is the guru of Thunderbirds, of the 55, 56, 57 Thunderbirds in the U.S.
Really?
Yes. His cars go to the Barrett Jackson and that, and he has sold cars like this up to $300,000.
Amos Minter?
Yeah.
Oh, did you rob the bank to buy Amos's car then?
Well, this one didn't hit the category of what those other ones did, eh?
Wow.
But no, I've been always looking for one, and
beautiful car.
Online I just saw it and went down and seen them, and we struck a deal.
How was he to deal with? Was he okay, or?
Oh yeah, it's his price or no price.
It's his price or no price, okay.
Yeah, so where this one came from, it came from a Ford dealer. He had it in his showroom for years and years, and I guess he had done a restoration on it.
So it was sort of like kind of a piece of art piece in his showroom kind of thing, yeah. Okay.
And then Amos got a hold of it, and then he went through it again.
Oh, Amos went through it again, so he painted it and everything.
They went through it, redid all the necessary stuff to make it look like brand new again. And
let's have the trunk popped open and the engine thing, and let's have a look through this car a little bit. You know, this is one of the coolest things about these baby birds. You actually get a trunk. I'm a Corvette guy, and you never get trunks with Corvettes. Well, I was trying to think. There might have been one that my 61 might have had a trunk. Yeah, look at that.
And you get a spare tire that's on an angle, and I guess it was kind of an afterthought for them because the trunk won't close if you put it the other way. So they were designed to lean inwards.
Well, that's kind of manufacturing, isn't it? You do everything right, and then all of a sudden, oops, the tires can't sit right, so we got to do this and do that.
Yeah. If you did a concours judging on the car, where 100% being the best, this one would hit somewhere in the high 80s.
Oh, okay.
So.
I'm curious, like high 80s, it looks like it's perfect. What do you need to get to? Do you ever get 100?
Well, some people do, but you got to have the correct bolts and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, they go right
through
into that.
Everything on them.
They ever look like a wrench touched it or anything like that? So you've
No, well, they're all restored, but they're just restored back to totally original.
Wow.
So, it's a 312. It's a 4-barrel carburetor.
Oh, look at that.
And this one operates.
Is that all factory correct too in there?
Everything's factory correct, yeah.
Oh, those valve covers are beautiful. Jeez. Does it have air?
It's not factory air. I haven't put air conditioning in when I bought it.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool the way you got that set up there.
A few other things have been updated on it. Like we took the generator out and put an alternator.
Yeah, run it so your electricals are reliable and all that.
Right. Yeah. So it was done more so to hit the proper standards, but so it's a drivable car.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I love the side sort of vent, the faux vents there. A lot of manufacturers went for that. And that little window in the back there, what's American Graffiti or whatever it is, the guy's chasing the
Suzanne
blonde.
Summers.
Yeah, all around all over town, and she's got, you can just see her through that window sometimes, you know, yeah.
As you can see there, you can see the little sticker on the back of the firewall there where it's got the Amos Minter sign on it.
Okay, so he's kind of given his approval on this car then, huh?
Yeah, if the car doesn't have that sticker, he has two stickers. He has the blue one and he has a gold one. The gold one is when he's totally done everything in the car.
Oh.
And where he's just gone through to his satisfaction, then they come with a blue sticker. If there's no sticker, then you can't claim it. And lots of people try and claim they're his cars, but there's no sticker.
How old a guy would he be, do you think?
Oh, he aims to be in his 70s.
Okay, so he's done cars for a long time then, huh?
Well, one thing too about these cars is they didn't start in park. It was a safety feature they had. They used to have to start neutral.
Oh, okay. Oh, listen to it. Sounds nice.
So it was kind of interesting, you know, because everybody's so used to the vehicle starting in park all the times. You put it in park and why won't it start? And then
Is this an automatic or standard?
it's an automatic.
Automatic. Auto Magic. Oh, it runs like a charm. Beautiful car. Beautiful car.
These things also come with two tops.
Oh, do they?
So it has a convertible top. The convertible top is behind the seat.
Okay. Oh,
So you
Corvette did that too, yeah.
So you can pop this top off and then just pull a convertible top up and put it on.
What color is the rag top?
It's black.
It's black too, okay.
Yeah.
I noticed you have the Monroe Homes. Are you Monroe Homes?
I was for 35 years.
Fantastic. So you're retired and everything's all good?
Yeah, now I have time to play with my hobbies. So
Well, good to meet you, Gary.
yes, good to meet you
Thanks
too.
a lot.
Capital GMC Buick Cadillac and Capital Ford Lincoln are two of the most celebrated dealerships in the country. Plus, Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's largest body shop network. Capital Auto Mall on the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina.
Okay, we're here with Mike Kyle, and he's got a car which I thought it was sort of like a Torino, but it's a Cobra, right?
That's correct. What Ford did in 1969, if you went into a Ford dealership to buy a Cobra Jet Mustang because you wanted a serious muscle car, they're pretty expensive. And whereas you could go down the street, you could buy a Super Bee or a Coronet or something like that from Chrysler for a lot less money. So what Ford decided, they're going to start a program. They took a Fairlane 500 body.
That's the Fairlane 500 body right there?
They debadged it.
Okay.
And there isn't a Fairlane decal or badge anywhere on this car. It's got a blacked out grille, hood pins, Cobra Jet insignia on the fenders, the Cobra with the Cobra badge.
It's a clean looking car.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then this is a Ram Air R-Code car, so it's a 428 Ram Air.
Let's pop the hood and have a
Sure.
look at that, Mike. Yeah.
And so what they did was,
428. Okay.
yeah, so the idea was they were going to build an entry-level muscle car to compete against the Road Runners and the Super Bees
Right.
for the same money. So that's why they took a basic Fairlane, bench seat, 4-speed was standard, 6,000 RPM tack and a dash, hood pins, heavy suspension, 9-inch rear end with gears, and go racing. This car has got very few options. It's got an AM radio, which was extra money, and it's got power disc brakes, no power steering, because that would rob power from the powertrain.
Oh, this is powered by Armstrong then.
Yes, it is. And I bought this out of a collection. It was in Whitehorse. A fella has a big collection of intermediate Ford muscle cars.
Okay.
And it came available. It had 54,700 miles on it when I bought it.
Okay.
It's all original. The motor was leaking oil, so I pulled the engine, went through everything, rebuilt it, redetailed the engine bay just like stock. I even have the smog and stuff on it. I'll show you.
Yeah, let's have a look here, Mike. I love that badging. Just says Cobra on it.
Yeah, so, and where guys get mixed up is in 70, the Fairlane name was dropped, and everything was just called Trinos. So then they had a Torino Cobra. So a lot of people mistakenly call this a Torino Cobra, where it's not. It's just a Ford had brochures. They just called it the Cobra. That was it. For
Well,
1
when I
year
walked
only.
up to it, I thought it was like a Gran Torino for a
No.
minute there till you told me what it was.
Yeah.
So this is the Ford Cobra, built
Yes.
in what year again?
1969. It was a 1-year program, and the only year they did it. They built 3,700 formal roof cars, and they built 11,000 fastbacks.
And this is a
formal roof.
Formal roof.
Formal roof, yeah.
So fastback, That would have been no trunk then, right to the
Well,
back?
real short trunk, real long back glass, and
Oh.
it was aerodynamic, and they were running them in NASCAR, so that's why Ford built 11,000 of them. People wanted them, whereas some of us preferred the formal roof. I just like the way it balances the body out,
I
the
do
looks
too,
of it.
I like it. Why does the valve cover say OK on it?
When it came through the factory, everything that was done on the car, they'd have a guy with chalk paint or something. He'd mark off, okay, this was installed. The sticker would indicate certain pieces of the car that were put on. They were, okay, we're done with that.
Oh.
They'd marked it, okay, those are the valve covers that were supposed to go on it for this model of car, and it was kind of their quality control.
Is that from factory or did you...
That's from factory. All
Oh,
the different
really?
marks and
Really?
bits on it, yeah. They had stickers on your battery and different things like that. So I tried to restore the car, the engine bay, every nut and bolt. When I had this out, it was a lot of fun putting this in because she was tight, but I didn't scratch a thing. It turned out really well.
So when I look at the way that breeze up the top with that air filter,
That's the ram air, so
Yeah.
it's vacuum actuated, so when you're driving and you step on the gas, it actually opens that up.
Okay.
And the ram air right through the hood, and the idea was to give it extra power and
so
performance
that
on the
flap
road.
opens up a little bit? I'm
Yeah,
looking
and
at-
it
okay.
forces air into the air breather. I have another one of these cars, identical, only orange, and it's an automatic, and you paid $37 more for an automatic transmission. It was more money to buy an automatic. And I'm in the
$37.
process of restoring it currently.
Wow, you've done
So-
a nice job of it. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful car.
Blacked out grill, hood pins, it's just stuff they did. The car originally came with steel wheels with dog dish hubcaps and polyglass tires, of course.
Dog, you mean like moon caps almost or something?
Well,
like
they're
that?
just a
little-
real
little-
plain hubcap. They're hard to find. I have a set of them. And when I go to a top-end Ford muscle car meet, I'll put the
Put those
original
on.
wheels back on
Yeah.
to give it the look. These radials and these ETs I have on there now on the car, they look good on it, but they sure make it nicer for cruising.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Because the old bias tires, you're all over the road hunting from one
How
side
old
of
are
the ditch to the other.
those wheels on there? Like the
Well, those are ET rims on there now, and they were made years ago. They
That's
used
what I
to
was
have
gonna say.
they used to make a unilug rim. They've now reproducing them, but drilled right for your car. So
I
these
remember
don't
Sears
have
used to
unilugs.
have them, or Eaton's or somebody, or maybe Robert Simpson had certain mags that
Yeah.
were in the catalog, and
Yeah,
and you
that's
could order-
correct.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
like one of those.
They only made 3,700 of these, so they're hard to come by. There's only, to my knowledge, there's only 4 R-code Cobras in Saskatchewan. I got 2. There's one in Craven that's in rough shape that a guy's thinking of restoring, and there's a fastback up in Saskatoon.
You
that's
know where
pretty
they
nice.
all are?
Yes, I do.
Very simple interior.
Yeah,
You're right.
she was Spartan. It was just meant for drag racing, and that was it.
Oh, that's good. How did they do at the drags?
These cars held their own on the street. They're a pretty powerful car.
Oh yeah. Nice sound, Mike.
Yeah, it's all stock. I didn't do anything different to it. It's all stock pieces.
What about the muffler system, the exhaust system?
That's all stock too.
All
Dual
stock.
exhaust, yeah.
Wow.
Vacuum
Beautiful.
duals.
Fantastic car. Hey, we're here with Mark Kopicus, and he's got a
64 Comet Caliente.
Comet
Mercury.
Caliente.
Yep.
My aunt had a Comet, and she just loved it, you know. Tell us a little bit about your car. Where did you get it from?
Well, so the car has actually been in my family since 1971.
Oh, you're
It
kidding.
was owned by my cousin, Barry Hassler. And the car, I fell in love with the car when I was a little kid.
Yes.
And actually never thought I would have an opportunity to purchase the car. And 5 years ago, about this time, that opportunity arose, so I went ahead and did that. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what the car has. Is it all factory? Is this original, or
There's a lot of original items on this car. There's a few things that have changed, like the wheels. You know, I put in a power antenna, things like that.
Okay.
But overall, the car is quite stock.
Beautiful
So
car.
out of the factory, it was 289 4-barrel 4-speed with the 8-inch rear end.
Okay.
320 gears.
Okay.
And of course, the 4-speed is a top loader. Buckets, console.
Let's
and,
crack open the
Sure,
interior here.
sure, you can have a look at it.
Yeah.
So since I've had the car, I've had to redo the interior, obviously. So
Oh,
when-
look at that.
when we
Gee,
re-
that's clean looking. I love that 4-speed in there.
yeah, when we redid it, my wife said to me, she said, you know, it'd be really great if we did it in red and black. It was Carnival Red before.
Okay.
So we did it in red and black just to spruce it up. So things that were options that were put on later, like back in '64, you could get a vinyl top, But of course, this car came without a vinyl top, and this one was put on in 1971.
That
But
vinyl top was put on 71?
that vinyl top 71. The paint is actually 1994.
Oh yeah, look at that.
It's full of stuff.
Could almost be a mafia car,
Damn
not for a body.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Boy,
Yeah, and I've
nice job with it.
got original things like the original jack is there and that type of thing. And you know, so but then of course you update things as you go too, because you want to make things a little safer if you're going to run the car, right? So
Yeah,
I've done a lot of that.
So what are the wheels on it that you've got on there now?
The wheels actually are they came off of a I don't know if you ever heard of a Mercury Monarch.
Yes.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
They're actually Monarch wheels, and then we redid
yeah, I know
them.
the
and-
Monarch. It's about the same size as it.
yeah, exactly right. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
80s car, right? It was late 70s, early 80s.
car?
There was a Monarch in there, Mercury Monarch. After I bought the car, of course, at the time I bought the car, it required a rebuild.
Okay.
And since then, actually, this winter, I actually put in a air conditioning system.
Oh.
Purchased it from a place called Auto Classic Air, and it's actually built to fit this car.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's the way it fit in was.
So this is a
phenomenal.
Mustang in 289, but it belongs to this car. Yeah, but that's the 289, the famous Ford 289.
It's famous Ford 289, yeah.
Yeah.
289 4-barrel, yeah. And it had originally this car I just took it off actually because it wasn't functioning very well anymore, but it had a Holley carburetor on it, 600 CFM. Yeah, this factory air is pretty cool. The air conditioning.
Oh yeah, there we go. Whoopsie.
Air conditioning's on.
The air is on.
Yeah, so if I shut it off, the idle change. See the idle change?
Oh,
Just
yeah,
like
yeah,
that, right?
Nice car. I love the badging on the side there. Oh
Uncommon, right?
yeah.
And so the Caliente was actually, there's one called the Cyclone. The Cyclone was actually a higher model, but didn't have any of the chrome on it, but it had the higher horsepower engine. Okay.
This is actually the more badged out, nicer.
Exactly. This is the what I would call kind of the spiffy car, right? So yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing it with us. Thanks for joining us on Cruising on 7.
Thanks for having us. Absolutely.
So we're here with David Werner, and he's got a 4950?
51.
51 Meteor.
Custom Deluxe.
Tell us about your car.
Okay, I bought this car I'm actually the third owner of the car. The first two owners were from the same family.
Oh.
I bought it in Manotick, Ontario, and as you can see, it still has the original.
So who's the dealership there? What's that
It
dealership?
was G.E. Thompson and Sons from Waterson Corners.
Oh, okay. Waterson Corners. Yeah, I love that name.
Yeah, and I bought the car, and it was a 5-year project for me. What's unique about the car is in 1951, it was Ford's first year for the automatic transmission, but in North America wide, roughly 20% of all the Fords that year had automatic, whereas in Canada, where the Meteor was built for the Canadian market, they were never ever built or sold in the USA.
Okay.
The Custom Deluxe, had roughly one car in 800 had the automatic.
Okay, so this is a Meteor, and what is it?
It's a Custom Deluxe.
Custom Deluxe.
Yeah.
I
Now-
love the paint job on it. And the taillights, they kind of, looks like they put a little extra juice into it just to give it the Custom Deluxe look. Is that right?
Well, the thing of it is, there was very, very few, and they were rare, Custom Deluxe 4-door sedans made.
Okay.
This is one of the reasons I went after this, and I've searched registrar's office in the USA and in Canada, and I have not come up with another car like it.
And how did you find this one?
Actually, I was on Kijiji quite a bit, and it just popped up in front of me when I was on there.
In Ontario,
In
Kijiji.
Ontario, yeah. And I went after it right away.
And why did you want the Custom Deluxe Meteor? Did you see
Because I knew that particular model was extremely rare.
And how did you know that? Like, what kind of
Well,
research?
the reason I know that is a 51 Meteor goes back with me many years.
Oh.
I still have the original one I had, and I bought it in 1961.
Okay.
And I still have pictures of it and stuff.
Oh, you
and
do?
I've always loved the 51 Meteor.
Okay.
So that when this
And you
came
knew the
up,
Custom Deluxe was the hardest one to
that
get.
that was the hardest one to get. There were much fewer of these made than there was of the Victorian.
So would that be the original type color?
No, the Ford, in all its wisdom, back in '51, their primary colors were dark green with brown interiors. There was a few variations of that, but basically that's what it was, and I never did care for that.
So you got what you wanted.
So when I tore this down, I made it the way I wanted it to be.
Let's have a look at the front here.
Sure.
This is the number one thing I love about cars from that era is that sunscreen. That what do we call that?
It's just a plain sun visor. is what they call it.
Sun visor, yeah.
Sun visor, yeah. And I ordered all new glass for it. It's all green tint to match the car.
Oh, green tinted
It's
glass?
all green tinted all the way around. Yeah, all the way around.
So you ordered all new glass all through the whole car?
And
Wow.
everything else is on. The company I bought this from, like all the bumpers and the bumperettes and so on and so forth, that company a number of years back made a deal with the Ford Motor Company to reproduce these old parts. And Ford Motor Company said, you're allowed to do that, we'll allow you to do that, but you have to do it to our specifications. There can be no variations. Because of our reputation.
Right.
And so that's why anything I bought that's new on this car fits just like it was an original Ford part.
Let's crack open the hood here and have a look inside here and see what we've got.
I tried to stay as close to original as possible.
Even these little eyelets over top, these little, I'll call them almost eyebrows or eyelashes here, they're gorgeous. Is that part of it too?
No, that's my touch.
Oh, look at that flathead 8. Beautiful.
Yeah, the only thing I've varied a little from the original, these cars came out with a 6-volt positive ground system. And I converted it to a modern 12-volt negative ground system.
And you got a nice cooler fan on it.
I added that myself because these cars were noted for having a bit of a heating problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a trademark of them. I've added this, and my problem has since been alleviated.
Beautiful car. What is the color?
It is called New Light Aqua.
New Light Aqua. That's not a color from that era, though.
No.
So you've just added. To
I've added everything. Yeah, it's just since I was there hasn't been a bolt on this car that hasn't been turned. Okay, and I'm not exaggerating.
I can see they're all brand new along in here. Look at this here. This is gorgeous. Look at the head on that.
You know, even underneath all the work I did under the car. I mean,
what do you figure the cubic inch is at, do you?
Well, it originally was called a 239. Now, I had it bored out a little bit. Now it has 244 cubic inches.
Let's hear it run.
Sure.
Nice sound. Oh, beautiful. That's the real hot rod sound from the 50s. That's right. That is really it. That is fantastic. Well, congratulations. Thanks for showing us the car.
Not a problem.
Okay, we're here with Curtis Kyle, and he's with his dad who had the Cobra.
Okay, this is my 99 Cobra Mustang. It's naturally aspirated. It's got about 380 horsepower. It's a 5-speed manual, convertible. Electric green is the color. A little over 4,000 of them were made. This is, I think, number 3,000 something.
Beautiful car, Curtis. Obviously, you and your dad are Ford guys, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So where did you find your car?
I actually bought it at a car show in Kenosee last summer.
Oh, did you?
That's right.
Kenosee, was there? Did they have a big car show there?
Yeah, they did.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, Curtis, it's and what has it got in for an engine again? It's a Cobra.
It's a 4.6 liter V8, 281 cubic inches, and it's got the Cobra heads. It's got cold air intake, long tube headers, full exhaust. Like, this thing is fully bolted on, ready to go.
Oh, fantastic.
It's got the 12-inch wide tires in the back. This thing's set up for drag racing.
But thanks for showing us your car, Curtis, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Capital GMC Buick Cadillac and Capital Ford Lincoln are two of the most celebrated dealerships in the country. Plus, Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's largest body shop network. Capital Auto Mall on the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina.